Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkey's Outdoors. Get all your hound hunting needs at conkeys.com. Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. I don't know, what's happened since the last time you were on?
I guess a lot.
I don't even remember what episode that was. So you were on 2 years ago?
Probably.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere on that 2-year mark. Yeah, probably because it was when I was stopping hunting for the public.
Okay.
As much. I was taking kind of a break.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that would have been around a year and a half, 2 years, probably a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Because I think February will make 2 years since I've coon hunted for the public.
Gotcha.
So I think it's around, so probably like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
But
a lot can change in a year and a half.
Yeah, a lot. We moved.
Okay.
Moved to a different house, got a new job. Not coon hunting as much. I haven't hardly coon hunted in almost 2 years, maybe like 10, 15 times in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
When I was going 5 nights a week.
Yeah, that's a big difference going from hunting dogs for the public to almost completely stopping.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's completely stopping. I just kind of switched.
Yeah.
I've been way more in the squirrel woods.
Mm-hmm.
It's been nice. It's been nice not being out till 2, 3 o'clock every morning, and then still having to get up and function as a normal human being.
What?
It's
you don't like being a zombie?
Been different. No, it's definitely been better. Like I said, I've squirrel hunted a lot more in the past year and a half, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, good.
We're enjoying getting out in the daytime and then getting some sleep. That's been the biggest change since I've been on here is the amount of sleep I've gotten.
Yeah, so I just looked it up. You were on episode 113, and that was February 6th of 2024. So a year and a half ago, basically. Yeah. So, but the one thing that we kind of talked about, it's the reason I wanted to have you back on is we're talking, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and by switching to squirrel hunting, it's allowed you to kind of bring your son along a lot more, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot more. When I was coon hunting, every now and then he would come.
Mm-hmm.
So my son's 4.
Yeah.
He'll be 5 in November. And he couldn't make it at night.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this is something I want to do with him. I want to train him, to be a houndsman. I want to train him how to respect not only the dogs, but to respect the wildlife too. Respect, creation that God has given us.
Mm-hmm.
And transitioning to the squirrel hunting has, let him come a whole lot more. I couldn't tell you the last time I went and he didn't come with me. Then I've got a 2-year-old that he's not coming near as much, but he's still, whenever he can, he's out in the woods with me. Whenever they're in the house playing, a lot of times they're going camping and they're bringing their squirrel dogs with them. So that's a lot of what we play inside is squirrel hunting. Yeah, trying to cultivate that now. Yeah. And how to respect the wildlife, how to respect God's creation, how to respect these dogs. And, they come and they help me feed sometimes. They help me water them. So not just teaching the hunting aspect, but really, how to take care of these animals as a whole.
Yeah.
And we've enjoyed it. And it's not even about hunting all the time either.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to, it was really about working my dogs. It was really about, making sure they're sharp, making sure they're ready to go get a hunt, to go to a hunt every weekend, every other weekend. And now we might make one tree. It might take us 45 minutes to get to that tree, but we might catch 5 or 6 frogs on the way.
Yeah.
We might stop and play in the creek for a little bit. It's different, but I'm loving every minute of it. Yeah, this is what I dreamed of.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of in the same boat, and I'm wanting to start. I got a 6-month-old pup out here right now, and I'm wanting to start her on squirrels for the exact same reason because, with 2 kids, I've got an 8 and a 5-year-old. It's hard to get them out at night, especially during the year. And even now, like, yes, it's summertime, but they still have to go to a summer camp every day, and we get up early. So it's like they can't be up all night, and we still got to turn around and get up early. Like, it just doesn't work. So
yeah,
looking to try and do some more squirrel hunting with them and get this pup started, because that way we can spend more time in the woods together.
Yeah, and that's it, man. Spending time with them. I mean, that's something that, me and my family, we value a lot. Is the time we get to spend with each other and making it intentional. And this is one avenue that we all enjoy. I mean, so far, they really enjoy it. If we go, too many days without, going out in the woods, they make it known. Yeah, they tell me, hey, when are we going to go in the woods? We'll be driving down the road, and my oldest will see some woods and he'd be like, hey, Dad, that looks like a good spot that we could squirrel hunt in. Now most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's pine trees that are like 5 foot tall. But he's recognizing that. And it's something that he's wanting to do.
Yep.
It's something that he enjoys. Man, it's keeping him outside. It's keeping him engaged. It's keeping him off of the TV.
Yep.
It's outside. Being in. Because I mean, God created us to be outside.
Yep.
He didn't create us to stay in a house all day. And this is an avenue that my family has got to enjoy, that we get to do together. And I've got my dogs are getting old. My female Sunny, she's 9 years old now.
Okay.
She's a grand night champion, a water champion, a field champion, a confirmation champion, a grand champion 3, has her HTX title.
Nice.
I mean, a very nice coon dog. I've enjoyed her. I got her in August of 2016, and then me and my wife got married that following October of 2016. So she's been here through it all, and she's made the transition to squirrel hunting very, very easy.
Nice.
She's picked it up just so naturally, and she's naturally she's a red bone, but she's naturally just a nice tree dog. Okay. She's looking to get treed. And man, she's done it. I just took her one day and started shooting squirrels out to her. Not really anything that I had to do special, just started taking her in the day. So really why I transitioned her is, again, I was getting from coon hunting for the public and started squirrel hunting for the public more.
Okay.
And wasn't coon hunting, so she was just sitting in the kennel. So I was like, I don't have many years left to enjoy her. So I'm going to take her when I go. So I started taking her during the day, and she picked it up. Now, my male stock, he's 7, and he hasn't picked it up very easy. He still doesn't really like squirrels. He still definitely prefers coons. I still take him some, but he hasn't picked it up like Sunny has. She just flipped a switch and was like, hey, I love squirrels now.
I had one that did not flip the switch, too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He doesn't care about the squirrels.
Yeah. My old leopard Puddles, I tried to squirrel hunt her. And she'd get out there, she'd hunt, and she'd make trees, but they were always old den trees. Never saw a squirrel with her, and one day it was funny. We were walking along, and here comes this squirrel just booking it, running across. And she was out there a ways, and tried to get her to come over where we were. She walked right across that hot squirrel track and never stopped. And I just laughed. I'm like, maybe that's why we're not treating any squirrels.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not meant to be.
Exactly. But you know what? We got out. That's kind of how I started getting my oldest out with me. Was, we would usually make a few trips out with her a year. Not, like I said, not that we ever did any good, but just getting out there and walking around and getting him used to walking in the woods throughout the day. So,
So I remember, I guess it was October of last year. Our squirrel season starts in October. And me and Hayes went out with my little blackmouth cur, Libby. And I don't remember if we had done anything at all. But it was still hot. South Mississippi, it stays hot year round. So in October, I mean, I'm still hunting shorts.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the hunt, he sits down in this, we were hunting around a cow field, and he sits down behind me because he's just wore out. And Libby sits down beside him, and there's a cow up on the hill on top of him. And I just look back, and I look at him and like, this is, what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent the time chasing the titles. I have put in the work to have some really nice dogs. But now it's not what I want anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to spend this time with my kid in the woods. And I really don't care if I don't tree as many coons anymore, if I don't tree as many squirrels. But it's the memories and the relationship, that I'm building with him.
Yeah.
That he's going to be able to look back when he's 30, and he's going to be able to say, my dad took the time. And he invested in me.
Yep.
He taught me how to be a man of God. He taught me to be a houndsman.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, this is what I've dreamt of. Whenever I dreamt of being a dad, having kids, being able to take them into the woods, being able to go, and spend time with them, not caring if we filled the game bag anymore.
Yeah.
I've had people, ask me or make comments about how I don't hunt as much as I used to. How my hunting looks a lot different. And this is what I want right now. I'm in the season of life now, where I don't care if we, don't even make a tree anymore. But it's more about cultivating that love, for hounds in my son. Cultivating this, how to be a houndsman, at this early age, so that whenever he gets my age, he'll have a true understanding of what a true houndsman is.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that really loves this lifestyle, that loves these hounds, and knows how to go about it in a professional and a respectable way.
Yeah.
That's the season of life that I'm in now. And I couldn't dream of being in the other season right now. I'm absolutely loving it. Loving, getting to take him and, stop and answer the 100 questions that he has, about what kind of leaf this is, or, why is this stick right here? That's what I love right now. I can remember people telling me, whenever I got married, whenever I had kids, how your hunting's going to stop. You're not going to get to hunt as much as you used to. And I used to view that in a very negative way. But now, whenever I'm living it right now, I want people to understand that it's not in a negative way.
Yeah. 100%.
That my hunting has changed. But I'm not mad about it. I don't even want to go by myself anymore. Now when I go by myself without Hayes or Henry, I'm lost. Like, what have I been doing out here?
Yep.
But I love taking them with me. I love being able to spend that time answering those questions, looking for the grasshoppers and the frogs. Again, my dogs are not as sharp as they used to be, but, I'm not really mad about it because, this is what I want right now.
Mm-hmm.
My dogs are enjoying it. My dogs love the kids. And this is what we all, are just having a great time doing right now.
Yeah. And I love the way you explain that. I've talked to quite a few people that are older than me and you and that have kids that are older, especially grown kids that are not involved. And they kind of talk about how they burned their kids out because they were serious and they demanded their kids to be serious about it. Yeah. And it's like, where did that get you? That got you kids that either sometimes resented the hounds, resented you for hunting so much, or at best don't want anything to do with it and don't like it. So it's like, why push your kids that hard instead of doing what you're doing makes absolute sense to me if you want to cultivate a love for this in your children. And I will say I struggle to be as patient as I should be sometimes, but I'm trying to slow down some because I don't want to be one of those guys that's, I've talked to and says their kids hate it or resent them for it or whatever. I want to have my kids love it. If
Yeah,
they
sure.
I've also kind of talked in podcasts that I don't think my youngest is ever going to love it, but I think my oldest, as long as I don't burn him out on it, will. So.
Hmm. Yeah, and like our hunts look totally different. I mean, some days we might hunt for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some days we might hunt for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And whenever they get tired, whenever they're ready to go, we go home.
Yeah.
Where I'm not trying to push them. Like I said, I'm trying to, I want this to be a positive experience for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't want to burn them out. And like I said, I know that my dogs are suffering right now for it, but in the long run, I'm hoping that I can, see, that it'll work out.
Mm-hmm.
That every time that they think of hunting, they're thinking of these, fond, these good memories that they had, that we had fun.
Yeah.
That it wasn't always, we're trying to make as many trees as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we're enjoying being out here on the way to the tree.
Yeah.
If we have to stop and catch a few frogs, stop and catch a few crawfish, it's okay. But again, I'm trying to cultivate that love, at such a young age. That this is what they know, this is what they're growing up with, and hopefully, a family tradition.
Yep.
And because I think hunting with hounds has taught me so much. It's taught me, how to walk with God. I've really had some very conversations with him, in the woods. It's taught me a ton of life lessons. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping, that I can, show my kids the value in that.
Yeah.
That it's more than just dogs. But this is a way that we can really learn how to get through life.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be patient, and we have to be ready, and willing, and always looking for those opportunities. Where can I learn a life lesson?
Yeah.
What can I learn from how my dogs were in this track tonight, and then be able to, compare it to how, I can work, through these difficult situations in life. That's what I want to teach them. That it's more than just cutting a dog loose, finding a coon, cutting a dog loose, finding a squirrel. But there's so many applications that we can find from this and apply it to our life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I love that, and how you're teaching your kids to walk with God along with walking with the hounds, and using a hound as an example, a real world example right in front of them. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're out there. We just got to look for those opportunities.
Yeah.
Because our kids are going to learn. They're going to learn it from somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to learn about stuff from somewhere. And I want to be able to steer them in the direction that I want them to go. This is what I love to do. This is what our family does. And I'm hoping that I can just instill that love into them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to carry it on. I know that's all of our hopes.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's what we all want. But I'm hoping that I can, plant those seeds along the way.
No, and I think
so far they love it.
That's awesome, and it sounds like you're doing a great job of it. As we talked a couple of weeks ago, just texting back and forth, I was loving everything you're telling me about hunting with your kids and kind of the way you've transitioned to squirrel hunting, and I'm like, I'm in the same boat. I still have a couple dogs that I coon hunt, and I don't see giving it up, but I'm not getting to coon hunt near as much as I used to, and the kids, I get to take them a couple times a year, a weekend here, a weekend there, holiday, break. But at the end of the day, it's not that much. So if we can get a squirrel dog and, be out there every Saturday morning, that's a lot more than what they're going to get if I was just trying to coon hunt with them.
For sure. And I think there's value. I think you said you had a puppy that was 6 months old. I feel like your oldest kid now, he can really be, a part of that process of training this puppy. And then he'll get a sense of ownership over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, all of the life lessons that we get to teach them, through this training process that then we can apply to our life. Yeah, I love it. It's something that I'm passionate about, and I can't wait until I get my next puppy. 'Cause if it works out how I want it to right now, I'm hoping my son will be 5, 6 years old. Yeah, and then he can really be a part of this process of training this next puppy.
Yeah.
And then again, teach it how to tree a squirrel, but I'm also teaching him life lessons. Teaching it how to run a coon track, but also showing him the life lessons, that come with training this puppy, and how we can apply it to our life to be the best man that we can be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, and I think one of the other things you touched on when you were talking is teaching your sons to be professional, and I'm not trying to call anybody out on this podcast, and I think people that listen to me are probably better than most because they've heard me say it, and a lot of other people that say it. And if you're still around listening, and you don't listen to, and you're not this way, I think people get offended easily, so they tend to not listen. So if you're here, I'm gonna guess you're one of the good guys. But there's some people out there that just don't conduct themselves in a way that is, great for the outside looking at us as houndsmen. And I think training your kids up as they grow up to conduct themselves in a professional manner, in a way that from outside looking in, people don't look negatively on us, is absolutely imperative as we get more and more people scrutinizing us.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so important. I think the big word is respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, houndsmen, we kind of lose that respect. I know a big thing going on right now is dogs trespassing on other people's land. That's something that I'm very passionate about. If I know my dog is going to somebody else's land, I'm calling them back.
Yep.
Because it's respect. I want to be professional. I've had to go knock on people's houses at 2 a.m. Hey, my dogs are back there. It's not fun.
No.
It is a sense of respect. And I think the more that we respect others and the more that we show respect, the more accepted it'll be. The more accepted hound hunting will be, because everybody wants to be shown respect.
Yep.
And we need to have a sense of professionalism out there. That we are professional. That we're going to be respectful to the land. We're going to be respectful, to the animals that we chase. That we're not just killing stuff and leaving them on the side of the road. But that we're being respectful for that. And there's a way to go about it that shows people, that we know what we're doing. Yeah. And we're not just some crazy people running out in the middle of the woods at night. But we are
a little crazy.
But we can be crazy and still be professional.
Yes, 100%.
I think it's so important. Like I said, that's something I really want to teach my kids. There's a respectful way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
That when people speak of coon hunters, they want to invite them onto their land to take care of this problem that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they think, that if I invite these people on there, that they're going to tear something up.
Yeah.
But they know that we're going to be professional, and they know that we're going to be respectful.
Yep.
And I think that's so important, because everywhere we look, people are trying to take away our hunting rights. They're trying to sell our public lands. Right now, the world is not in favor of hunting. But the more we can show people that we're respectful and that we're professional, I think it'll go such a long ways in keeping this tradition that we have alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking for any way they can to shut us down.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking for the people that are not taking care of their dogs. That their dogs look skinny, they're underweight. They're looking for that stuff. And I think it's something that we have to teach, that no, we are respectful. We do take care of our animals. This is not something that we just do on a whim. But this is a lifestyle that we live. And it's important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to, show that light and show that side of hunting with hounds. Yeah, they are part of our family. And these dogs are not just something that we throw out there and we feed every couple of days. They're part of, they come on vacation with us.
Mm-hmm.
We spend time with them. Something that we truly love and we've dedicated our lives to.
Yep.
And that's what I want people to know. That's the side of hunting with hounds, that I'm passionate about, that I want people to see. And that it's something that, we've really dedicated our lives to. This is what we want to do. We want to be good at it.
Yep.
I want to be good at it. I want my hounds to perform well. In order for them to do that, I'm giving them the best care possible.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, and I think that kind of brings us a good point to kind of segue into Conkeys Outdoors is proud to be a sponsor of Tree Talking Time. Family, hunting, tradition is the Conkeys motto. They understand the importance of passing down the tradition of hound hunting. They are a family-owned business that treats you like family. They also understand the importance of having the gear you need when you need it. Conkeys carries everything for your next hunt, and it ships to your door quick. They also offer great warranties on all tracking systems and financing options. Check them out at conkeys.com. You can also use the code TreeTalkingTime5 in all caps to save as well. You want to kind of teach this and talk about this more. This podcast is a great outlet for that, but you've got a lot to say, and you're starting a blog, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm starting a blog and a website. It's truehoundsman.com. Hopefully in the next week or so, we're going to have that launched. And it's going to be, I like to write. I love the art of storytelling. I think it's a lost art, that we don't see as much anymore. But I love to tell stories. I love to be able to sit around a campfire, listening to the dogs run a track and just sit there, and relive hunts of the past.
Yeah.
So that's something that, this website, this blog that, I'm creating is going to be kind of like that. That we're kind of around a campfire, we're sharing these stories. So I'll have blog posts. We'll have, hunt recaps.
Nice.
I want it to be a place, where we can come, and people can see hunting with hounds in a very professional, and respectful manner.
Yeah.
That, we love what we do, and we take care of what God has given us. So it'll be blogs, about, squirrel hunting, blogs about coon hunting. I do a little bit of bird dog, so we might have, a little bit of duck hunting in there. But it's going to be a place that people can come, and they can, read stories. They can see what the life of a true houndsman, is really about.
Yep.
We'll share some training tips, some different things, different ways that we can take care of our hounds, different things that we do throughout the week, but to really shed a light, on what a true houndsman is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that word houndsman gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
But a true houndsman is someone that has really dedicated their life to these hounds, to these dogs. And that's what it is. This is what their life is about. Every part of their life is in this. And I want people to come here, and they can see, what a true houndsman really is, and what we represent, and the life that we live. And then I'm going to point them to Jesus.
Yep.
Everything I do, that's what I want. When people see me, they can see a reflection of Jesus. And that's what I hope this blog does. Shows what a true houndsman is, and then I can point people to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have right now. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited for people to read what I have to say. And I'm hoping, if it'll just change one person's mind about what a true houndsman is, then I feel like I've done what I need to do.
Yep.
But I just want to shed that light, show the good side of hunting with hounds. Because I feel like we see a lot of bad about it.
We do. Too often.
The bad, and the bad's always a lot louder.
Yep.
So I'm hoping, that I can really help, shed a light in a professional manner, and that people can come and see, how true houndsmen, really live. How true houndsmen are really supposed to act, that it is professional, that it is respectful, that we take care of things, that you don't have to worry that if you ask us to come, take care of, some nuisance problem that you have, that you have to worry about, what we're going to do, that that we're going to be respectful, that we're going to do what we say we do.
Yeah.
Because that's what true houndsmen are. And there's a lot of them out there. Now, there's a lot of good houndsmen out there, but so many times we only see the bad, and the good ones are not highlighted.
Yep. No, I love it, and I'm really excited to read it myself. I think you have a great insight in you're very articulate in the way you talk. Way better than me, that's for sure. I think you could easily steal my job if you desired to, because you're very articulate and you can really convey your message well. But then again, you are a preacher, so it does not surprise me.
That's my job.
Exactly.
I don't know. This is something that we've prayed a lot about, me and my wife have. And it's something I really feel like, God is asking me to do. Because, again, everything I want to do is going to point back to Him.
Yep.
But also, being these hounds are such a pivotal part of my life. I feel like He is going to give me an opportunity that He can still get the glory.
Yep.
But I can also shed a light on what is so near and dear to my heart. So we're excited about it. I've been working hard on it. I've got some blog posts I'm really excited about, ready to share with everybody. So hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, that website will be launched and we'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, this will come out in a couple weeks. So if you're saying a week-ish, then it should be up by the time this rolls out.
Yeah, so I want to share my passion with the world, because I want my kids and my grandkids, to be able to have the same experience and make these same memories, that I've been able to make. I think I've really been hunting with hounds hard for 13, 14 years now. So it's something that's, I'm 28. So over half of my life, has been dealing with these dogs, with these hounds. And I am hoping and praying, that my kids will be able to experience this too. And my grandkids will be able to experience this too. But it starts with us.
Yeah.
That, we have to train them. We have to convey to the world, that it's worth it. That this life that we live is worth it. And that's what I hope, that I can convey to people.
Yeah.
That it's worth it. That it's okay. Again, that we're not out just abusing our animals. We're not out, just bloodthirsty, but, we're ethical and we're professional and we take care of our animals.
Yep.
And we love them. And we love this life. And that's what I want people to see.
Yeah. You brought up a really good point when you were talking about the blog and how you want to make sure it always points back to Jesus. And I remember a long time ago, somebody told me, or I don't know if somebody told me or if I heard it on a podcast or where I even heard it, but I remember hearing something about how your hobbies can easily become your idols and how to make sure to not place your hobby or your passions in life above God, and how one way to do, the person speaking was saying, praying about things and also dedicating that passion to God and saying, God, how can I use this passion in life, this hobby, whatever it may be, to glorify you? And by doing that, and also making sure that you are doing that, I mean, you have to follow through, but that you can enjoy whatever your passion is, whatever your hobby is, but it not be a stumbling block that God has to remove it from your life, especially for
sure. And that's something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's something that I've really struggled with, is trying to keep, God above hunting. So, in February of 2024, God woke me up one night, and the only time I've ever heard His voice audible, and He said a few short words, and He said, "Hunting is your idol." So woke up at 1:00 in the morning, Yeah, and hearing that really slaps you in the face.
Oh yeah.
So after that, I said, "Oh God, yeah, I'm no more." So that's when I stopped hunting for the public. Yeah, that's when I stopped coon hunting so much, because I said, God, if it's so bad, that you're waking me up at 1 a.m, yeah, and you're speaking this audibly to me, then I need to start paying attention.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I've really had to struggle with and really keep my priorities straight. Yeah, that I don't put hunting over my family. Yeah, that I don't put hunting over God.
Yep.
And it's very easy to do.
Oh yeah.
We get so consumed in it, that we can lose ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I said, that's something that I've really struggled with, and I've really had to work hard at. In saying, God, you're number one. God, use this hobby, through me. Mm-hmm. God, don't let it take over my life again, but God, use it through me. God, let this be an avenue, that I can, make your name known.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I understand that wholeheartedly about not letting that hobby be number one.
Yep.
Because for many years, I let it do that. Yeah, I let it run my life. That it was the first thing I thought about when I woke up and the last thing I thought about when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
But I can tell, my family life, my spiritual life, every aspect of my life has been so much better, when I realized that and truly put God number one. Mm-hmm. And all of these opportunities now have started opening because I've given it all to God.
Yeah.
So God, you take control. You show me what to do. And it's been hard.
I'm sure.
But it's been so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want a lot of people that are in the same situation that I'm in, is don't let hunting consume your life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so easy. We're chasing those titles. We're chasing the money. We want to be on the cover of the magazine. We want everybody on Facebook to talk about us. But, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it to lose our family, to lose our reputation, in pursuit of this, what it is, a hobby.
Yeah.
So I want people to know that. Don't let it consume who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard that so many times. Guys, like, almost saying it as, like, laughing it off, that in order to be, like, a good houndsman, like, you have to be divorced and have horrible relationships with your family because they're quote unquote dedicated to it. And it's like, or you could just have a healthy balance of, your personal life with your family, and also enjoy, having your hounds. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. And it's just,
but it's a choice that we have to make.
Yeah.
It's a choice we have to make daily, because it's so easy, to fall into that trap and let it consume us. I said for the past year and a half, it's something I've really had to work at. I've really struggled with, and I've really, just had to give it to God and say, God, you do it.
Yeah.
God, obviously I can't do it. So you go ahead and take the reins, God, and you steer me in the direction you want to go. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. Because I think a lot of people, that do follow these hounds, fall into that it consumes you.
Yep.
That we're on Facebook all the time in our different groups. We're, always out in the woods hunting. And it doesn't have to be that way. That we can balance this in a healthy way. We just have to want to.
Yep.
And I think that's the hardest part, is actually wanting to, and then making the effort to do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I said, I'm really excited for the blog. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
I really appreciate
covered all the major points that I wanted to talk about. I appreciate you having me back on again.
I really appreciate you coming on. I've really enjoyed this. Like I said, you are very well spoken, very articulate, and conveyed an amazing message that I could have never said the way you said. So, when we were sending messages back and forth, I'm like, we definitely need to expand on this and have a full conversation.
Yeah, so. I'm very passionate about it. Like I said, I want people, to look at houndsmen, in a positive light. Mm-hmm. There's so many good ones out there. there's so many good ones that have really dedicated their life, to having very nice hounds, to have the lines that we hunt. And I think that we need to highlight it and spotlight it in a positive manner. And I think that's something that we all have to come together to really work at. So there's so many people that are trying to do the opposite.
Yeah.
And it's going to take all of us collectively coming together and really fighting for what we love. So that's what I hope y'all get out of this podcast, that we've all got to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
We've all got to really come together in a positive and ethical and professional manner and show people why we love this sport that we love.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you having me back on. I enjoy the podcast.
Like I said, I really appreciate you coming back on.
Oh, yeah, anytime. I love to talk about dogs. I love to talk about my kids. I love to talk about Jesus.
Yep.
So I'm up for it anytime.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.